Jimbo's Garage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Jimbo's Garage. Well, today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of machining and some TIG welding. We're going to be using some 309L. Typically, 309L is used to weld stainless to carbon steel to stainless. However, you can use it for mild steel as well, and that's what I've been doing a lot of. More about that later on in the video. So I've got like 5 parts I got to make, the small little parts, but it is something. And what I wanted to tell you guys is, you've heard me mention in my videos that I can't film everything that comes into the shop. And then that's in fact true. I like to give you guys good content, good build videos, and that's primarily what I focus on. However, in between all of that, I get a lot of these small little projects that come into the shop that I just frankly don't think they're film worthy, if you will. So I don't film them. But this is one that I'm going to film. It's a small, simple little project, but involves, you know, like I said, some machining, some TIG welding. It's not much, but it is something. It might be a good watch. If this is something you guys think you might enjoy, I might be able to get more of these up. Maybe at least 1, 2 videos per week. So with that said, let's get started on today's video. All right, so what we're doing is we're making 5 drill extensions for a hand auger for a drilling company right here. So what we're using is some 1-inch OD with a 3/4 inch ID. This is a 120 wall, 1/8 of an inch thick, and I just cut them to length and over the Burr King and getting a beveled edge on them, getting ready to weld. Okay, I got these coupling nuts right here, and what I need to do with these right here is actually get them in the lathe, and I need to turn down a portion of these so they slide in the end of the tubing that I have on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these things out. One thing I wanted to point out to you guys, I get a lot of questions. A lot of people ask me, you know, what I use. What do I use to mark steel or metal with? I have been using this Prismacolor right here, very thin, in number 753. And it is a good pencil. It works really well. The problem with that is the lead is, like it says, very thin. And so it doesn't take much to break the lead a lot, so I'm constantly sharpening. They don't last as long. I recently went to the same exact pencil, Prismacolor. This is a Premier PC 949. You can see that the lead is much thicker in this one right here than the other one. And these things have been working out really good for me. They mark really well on the metal. They seem to be lasting a little bit longer. They are a little bit fatter. All in all, it's a nice marking pencil. I got these on Amazon. I paid about $18 for a dozen of these ones right here. But if you prefer the smaller pencil, I think they're about $10 a dozen. Anyways, I'll put a link in the description in case you're interested in picking some up. All right, so I'm over here at the 42-inch Atlas, and I've just got these coupling nuts chucked up in there, and I've got to turn them down, you know, about 3/4 of an inch, not quite half of the nut, and I need to turn them down to just under 3/4 of an inch. Like I said, the ID of the tubing is right at 3/4, so the idea is to get these things turned down just so they slip in there. They don't have to be super tight, but they can. We're just going to weld them in places. So the goal is just to get it so they slip in there. All right, that's perfect. That's a little bit undersized, but no problem. We're going to be welding that all up anyway. It's a pretty good fit. Okay, so I got a couple more of these to do. Let's see if we can get this one a little bit closer. As soon as I find my chuck key. You know, I had a whole bunch of these to do, and it just seems like the more I do, the more I work on the lathe, the more comfortable I get. So it is definitely a learning experience, but I'm getting better and better every time I work with it. Should be it. Nice. Ooh, that fits good. Perfect. All right. All right, this is the last one. You gotta remember, I'm not a machinist, so my machining skills aren't the best. That's for sure. But you know how the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. All right, well, let's see how close we are. Yeah, we still got some ways to go. One thing, when I started doing these things, the very first one took me about 30 minutes to do. Now I've got them down to where I can, this is the last one, of course. Takes about 5 minutes. All right, so here's that piece right here. Let's just take it off this, and we'll get it on here. This is just, it's kind of a tight fit, but you know what? That's okay. Perfect. Ready for welding. We'll get all these pieces all put together. We'll start doing some TIG welding. All right, so today we're going to be working off the HTP Invertig 221. It's an AC/DC machine. I haven't had this for very long, but I have had some time to work with it here over the last few months, and I got to say I'm really enjoying it. It's really a really smooth operating machine. You can see how I've got it set up here on my welding cart, you know, with the all the holders, the cable holders, and of course my my torch holder there. Everything works perfectly smooth. You know, let's fire up the machine right here, and I'm running this thing at about 132 amps for this particular project. And of course I got to pull out my TIG welding stool. That was a great addition to the table. And this is the 309L I was talking about. You know, I use this for a lot. It's a really smooth welding filler metal, and I really like it. You know, they come in, you know, these long lengths like this, and I like cutting them in half because I just don't like that long dangling thing. It's a lot of off weight to the back right there, so I cut everything in half. That's a lot easier to manage. You know, I'm working off of a CK17 series air-cooled torch right here with a number 12 Furic cup Pyrex. I really like using that. I got a really long stick out, you know, maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch of a stick out, and I got the gas set at about 25 CFH. Works really good. I've been using it for the last couple months, and it seems to work really good. You know, I don't have a positioner, so it's a slow go. You know, small part like this, round, and you just can go just a little bit at a time. At least I can. Some of these guys might be able to get it into position where they can go almost all the way around in one movement. I can't. You know, I just go about a 1/2 inch at a time. Ultimately, we got all 5 of those nuts welded on the one end of the tubing, and now it's for the other side. Now this is some all thread that I'm cutting down the length that I'm going to be screwing into the other end of the coupling nut. As one side is female and the other side is male, these things link together, they connect together, and that's the idea. So I'm just taking them, rounding them over and smoothing up the threads right there, and I'm just chucking them in the lathe right here. What I'm doing is I got a parting tool right here, and I just went in there and knocked off a little bit of relief for the threads, about 1/4 of an inch, so I can get the weld around there, around the coupling nut there, so it's not going to interfere when they couple together. You know, that's what I like about this little lathe. You know, it's good for small stuff like that, like this. Works really well. One of these days I'm going to maybe invest in a bigger lathe, but hey, for now you make do with what you have, and you know, it works pretty good. All right, there's the pieces right there. Now I did lose a little bit of footage right here of me actually welding the threads to the nut right there, but I think you guys are going to get the idea. That's what it ultimately looks like. And this is, I was just finishing up right here, a couple of them, and then I got this box from UPS. You know, this is the beauty. If you guys have never ordered from McMaster-Carr, that place is amazing. They have every fastener you can possibly imagine, and the beauty of it is you order today, and you most of the time you get your part the very next day. That's what I needed right here. I ran short of some coupling nuts. I was able to get those right in so I could move forward with this project and finish it up. There's what I was saying about the little weld for the threaded area into the coupler right there. That's what that little relief was. And you can see that I got all those welded around there. And now it's just a little bit of a process right here. Slow go, like I said, you know, ½ inch at a time. Just turning it over and getting it done. You know, this 309L, you know, if your parts are nice and clean like this tubing is, of course I've wiped everything down with acetone prior to this, and it sure makes for a nice weld, nice smooth weld. You know, there's a picture of the welding cart in the background. You know, that thing has worked out really well since I've had it. It's perfect. Here's a little tip for you. I don't know, maybe. I run these filler metal right down to the very end, and then I actually just get a little bump and bump them together, and I got another 18-inch rod ready to roll again. No waste. Works pretty good. And you can just see I'm just working my way around these things. You know, it's kind of a tedious process, but we're coming right down to the end of the project right here. Just trying to give you a couple little angles. You know, there's a lot of color to this right here. This 309L provides a lot of color. You may not be able to see it in the video right here, but nice and smooth. Fills in really nice. And that just about wraps it up. There's the female part of the end. And then this is the male part right here. You can just see that everything worked out really good. And we'll be able to screw these things together and take them apart. It was a great little project. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out me on Instagram and check out my website at jimbosgarage.com. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.